Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. We haven't done an update for a long time and heaps has happened. There's a crazy coronavirus going around which is sending the world into sort of a tailspin. We are not in India, are we, Michelle?
We're not in India, we're in Istanbul.
Istanbul, it's Constantinople. So we're in Istanbul. And what better place in the world to be stuck? I mean,
It's good.
well, we're not stuck.
No.
Actually, we're not stuck because we plan to come to Istanbul after India anyway, and we plan to spend at least a month or two in Istanbul or in Turkey in general. They started to close down the borders.
We landed before it all started to close down though. We
Yeah.
were here and
I mean, unfortunately, when I arrived here, I had the flu, not the COVID-19 flu, but I think, yeah, I mean, a basic flu, which I didn't pass on to
Nope,
Michelle.
I never got it.
No, despite we were both in the same room.
in a very small hotel room.
Yeah, no kissing. So I had the flu. It knocked the stuffing out of me for a good 10 days. I'm over it now. And suddenly, the crisis has hit. The crisis has hit Istanbul.
Pandemic, you've
the
got
pandemic.
Oh,
We have actually met a couple of friends, or what they're now friends of ours, who are YouTubers who are travelling, and they're stuck in Istanbul because they literally can't cross the border because they're starting to close all the borders. Michelle and I, we're not really stuck
We're
in
not
Istanbul
stuck,
because
no.
we plan to be here, but it is messing a bit with our further plans
Our next
because
plans.
yeah, because if this continues, we possibly will get stuck in Istanbul. Or in Turkey at least, and that might stop us being able to do the next leg of our journey. Now, please bear with me for a while. I am working on the last of the Indian travel videos, which have some beautiful videos going up there. There's actually a train one that I'm just working on at the moment, beautiful train journey. We will get on to doing Istanbul videos, but what we're going to do is continue to put up the Indian videos until I've run out of videos to share with you. So I hope you enjoy them. And then after that, actually no, not after that. What we're going to do is try and include some of these update videos like this, maybe once a week. Just reach out to you and tell you what's going on.
no, we can't do live ones. We did think about doing live shows. Can't do live shows.
We can't do live. We're really surprised. Istanbul is that the internet here is shockingly bad. I mean, for example, the video I'm uploading or just finished uploading took 2.5 days to upload. So each video I edit is taking me at least a day, 2 days to upload. And if we try to do a live stream, it will be terrible
It'll be
quality.
awful.
Yeah, so we'll do this sort of thing, and then you can talk with us, and if you ask questions we need to answer, we'll do it in the next one. We are definitely going to be in Turkey for a month, maybe even longer.
Yeah, definitely a month. Well, it will be more than a month by the time we actually, once that
Yeah,
month is
yeah.
up.
We've got an apartment here,
We
a
have.
beautiful apartment in the heart of Istanbul. It's only a stone's throw from the city centre. We're very lucky, great hosts. We are below a baker's. So
No, we're above a baker's
oh yeah, we're above a baker's.
So
And how can we tell we're above a baker's?
because we've got a nice warm floor.
The actual floor of this apartment warms up because the baker bakes simit, these beautiful Turkish breads. He bakes the simit, 2 of which I've got on the side there. We're going to have with cream cheese in a.
They look like a bagel, don't they?
They're like a big bagel, but thinner in
Yeah.
diameter. I'll chuck a picture up so you can see one of my
Delicious.
cream cheese bagels from yesterday. We're right above a beautiful baker's. He's baking all through the night. He bakes huge amounts.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. I think he bakes for all the local.
He supplies all the local little trolley guys, not trolley guys, what are they? Vendors, aren't they?
Yeah, the little
Vendors.
street vendors push this little carts around the streets of Istanbul, and they've got piled up these simit or sometimes other breads, but mainly simit. And we've got probably about, I'd say, close to 20 trolleys that pull up here every day and take a mound of simit and go wandering off selling them in the streets. So it's fascinating to watch. We've got little corner shops all
Little
around us.
Veggie shop just across the road there.
Which doesn't close till midnight for some reason, even though he's not serving any customers. I think it's just his life. There's
Yep.
another little corner shop here that doesn't close till at least midnight. Again, I think he just sits in there watching the telly. There's not really a lot of trade going on between the hours of whatever o'clock and midnight. Sometimes they're closing even later.
Yeah, later than that.
I mean, the baker here had a delivery of bread flour, and it was so loud. It was about 4 o'clock in the morning, and they're offloading big sacks. I mean, in Australia you wouldn't be able to deliver them because they're well over the health and safety site, the weight limit. Yeah, the sacks were the big old sacks. I'd say sort of at least 50 kg. And I came out to this window and I could look down. They were, heaving these big sacks of flour, and they were unloading for at least half an hour. So he must keep an inordinate amount of flour in his bakery.
They tend to do the deliveries at night because the greengrocer guy had his delivery early one morning, about 3 in the morning.
And our bedroom's just here. So when we first arrived and we looked at this apartment, we thought, a beautiful little apartment, but during the day there's constant noise outside, people going up and down, shouting to the neighbours. The windows in Istanbul, the streets are all, the buildings are all quite tall, like maybe 4 or 5 stories. So people drop baskets down out of their windows to collect their groceries, and they put the money in it, and then the grocer puts it in and he pulls the basket.
There's no elevators, so you don't want to go all the way down the stairs.
Very few elevators. So that happens outside our place here a dozen times a day at least. And subsequently, it's a real community. Everyone's chatting. There's noise, but at the same time, it's never quiet. But
doesn't stop, does it?
No, but after about
3 days.
3 days or so of that, we just kind of got used to it. It doesn't bother us at all. So we thought we might as well stay here for at least a month and just start to lap up. We started to know some of the locals and learn about some of the cafes. We've done a couple of videos, which I won't put up until, if you don't mind, till I've finished the Indian videos, because I just don't want to be out of sync. But I wanted to say to you, we're in Istanbul.
Yeah.
It's a massive change. It's a huge change from India. I mean,
Well, the thing was, in India, we saw so much great stuff, and we just kept saying, we've got so much footage.
Yeah.
We must stop videoing. But then we just kept filming more and more. So we don't want to not put that up and not share that. So that's why we've got so much.
No, there's some great markets. There's the train journey. So I've probably got another, if we put 3 videos up a week, I've probably got another month of videos to go up, which I hope you'll still love to see. But what we will do is we might only put 2 videos up a week and then do something like this every week. So a little chat, a little heart to heart, tell you that we're all safe, let you know that that we haven't caught the dreaded virus that's going around. I'll add a little bit to my last video. Is we are not concerned about the virus, not even the diddly squat. It wouldn't bother me to catch it and just I wouldn't want a second bout of flu, but it wouldn't bother us to catch it. And I think there's something going on. The hype that's gone around this is just out of control. But it is what it is.
It's happening. You've got to deal with it.
We want all you to stay safe. I wouldn't want you to catch the flu or a cold or this COVID-19, particularly if you're watching this and you're elderly or frail, or maybe you've got some sort of respiratory problems. Certainly you don't want to catch any version of the flu that's out there. So please stay safe. It's going to be a trying time. My thoughts are that this will be all finished with by the end of the spring, certainly for the European side of things, or the northern hemisphere. But
it could all kick off in Australia and
New Zealand.
It's
a little worrying that our friends in Australia are coming into the winter now, or into the autumn and winter. So and that's the time we tend to get more sort of colds and things in Australia. But that's more in the southern states as well. In the northern states, the weather stays a lot warmer anyway. So yeah, it's I hope this update is of some interest to you. What else has been going on, Michelle? We're pretty much just settling in here.
Yeah, I mean, we wanted to stop so you could catch up on those edits, really, and that was the plan. And this all just kicked off and extended it a little bit, maybe.
Well, we'd already booked to stay here before Turkey announced that they were starting to close. So it hasn't really affected our decision. And now we've decided to stay here, the more and more we're seeing the beauty of Istanbul. And what a great place. How lucky are we to be stuck in somewhere as beautiful as Istanbul. The food dynamics is very different from India, so we're enjoying the changing up of the food.
And we're not on lockdown. They haven't told us we've got to stay in or anything like that.
Not yet.
Cafes are closing. I know, not yet. So we might make the most of it while we can and get out and about. And it's quieter out there, though. It is quieter.
It's quieter. They're starting to get the little run on the supermarkets a little bit. It's a bit silly. I know a fella in this street who told me he'd been out and bought heaps and heaps of pasta, and you're kind of wondering why. Why are you doing that? Michelle and I are lucky we've got a kitchen here. We've been cooking up some beautiful vegetable soups, particularly with me getting over this sort of cold flu, trying to build your strength back up. And we've got a baker downstairs, which we've been buying those beautiful
Veggie Man and the baker, so soups for the next month, but we'll be fine.
And we're lovely soups, rich vegetable soups. I'm sure we'll get sick of it. We went out, the weather, okay, let's just talk briefly about the weather. The weather in Istanbul, freezing cold. I mean, it's been, for us, we imagine we've just been in India where it's 40 degrees at night. I know. But it's pretty hot. To sort of early springtime in Istanbul, or late winter, early spring in Istanbul, and it's freezing. I mean, it's 8 degrees, 9 degrees today. For us, that's really cold, but the apartment's lovely and warm. And we've had this rain as well. We went out the other night for a walk, and the other late afternoon for a walk. Got soaking wet. You have to remember, Michelle and I, we just haven't got the winter clothing. We're trying to rectify it and buy, if we can, some sort of compact winter clothing.
Some sort of coat or something. But
let us know what you think. But we've been looking at these down jackets that
you want something light and
packed down really small,
but keeps you warm. And
well, if you watch the packing video, not the packing video, but the backpack video I did last week, just how little stuff we carry. So we can't go and get big downy jackets because it'll just be a pain in the backside to carry them round. So we want some compact jackets that will give us some layering, and probably need, from the other night, something waterproof, I think, because
possibly,
we got soaked. Our trousers were soaked, and the little coats we have at the moment don't really reflect the water. But the further we went from our apartment, the colder it was getting, the heavier the rain. So we dodged into a little cafe, didn't we?
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah,
it was really good.
We had chicken soup.
Chicken
broth,
nice bits of chunky chicken in there, so that was really nice, wasn't it?
I thought you were going to talk.
Oh, sorry.
I thought I can have a quick swig while Michelle talks.
No, I don't talk.
But we'll have a little bowl of chicken soup just as a starter, and they bought this lovely broth with big chunks of chicken in it, and then they bought a big tray of Turkish breads, almost like a naan, since we've been in India, but they're Turkish breads. And so we're eating the broth and tearing this beautiful bread up, and I was stuffed. We were really.
We thought that would sort of just be a little bit to keep us going while we decided.
Yeah, because we
wanted to see what everybody else had.
Trying to warm up, really. It was just that the weather was. When the cold has got right into your bones. So the idea of a chicken broth. Now the bowls of soup were around about 6 Turkish lira, which is probably under $1 US.
$1.50 Australian.
Yeah, so close to $1, including all the bread. It was delicious. I did save a little space to get a...
Or kunefe.
Kunefe. I think it's kunefe. It's a sort of cheese. It's like a mozzarella cheese. This one definitely had coconut. I don't know if kunefe usually has coconut, but it had shredded coconut
and pistachios.
Pistachios,
and then the creme fraiche on the top of that, wasn't it?
Yes, a little creme fraiche, but a syrup inside, and you sort of pull it up, and they bought it on they brought it on a little plate, and there was this metal kunafe tray. I don't think I photographed it. If I did, I'll stick one up. But
It was
we'll
a
get them
baking
later.
tray.
It was a baking tray. So I grabbed the tray to turn it round, and it was rocket hot. It was absolutely burnt my hair. I went
Ooh.
like that. Okay, so that's why it's on the little plate. And then we were sort of eating that. So that was a lovely.
Yeah, we just
thing.
shared one of those just to finish off, and that was enough, wasn't it? That was
Yeah,
delicious.
and then we galvanised ourselves, walked back, and just got in and jumped in the shower because we were cold and wet, and also
It's windy as well, isn't it?
not
Sometimes?
windy and
Ah, yes, like this.
what's like this, Michelle?
The roads are like this. There's steep hills everywhere.
Steep.
If you go down that way, then you've got to come back up that way.
Yeah.
Or steps.
So one thing I didn't know about Istanbul is it's all the streets, not every single street, but it's all up and down mountains. So it's they're very steep roads all over the place. So just going out of our apartment, if we want to go into Taksim, which is the centre, there aren't a lot of hills because we're about level with Taksim, but if we go any other direction, it's downhills and uphills. So you walking back after we'd had our soup and our kunafe. Is it kunafe? Have I said it right? Let us know in the comments. So we're coming back and we're almost touching the pavement as we're walking because the hills are like this.
And you have to be careful because some of them, there's a lot of cobbles as well. So the roads were wet.
Soaking
Glistening
wet.
It was a bit slippy in places, but we made it. We got here.
So yeah, you have to watch for the slips because cobblestones they're not as slippery as they look,
No.
but when they're as steep as they are, and sometimes cars are coming up these hills and you can hear them slipping. So yeah, this is where we are. Thank you for all the lovely comments we've been having on the video so far. We've got, I'm not sure, I haven't looked at the full drive to see how much stuff I've got to edit yet in India.
But we know where you are geographically, so
yes,
we
so
know what we've got to go.
I won't give you any sort of ideas because sometimes I look at a video and think that's not going to work, and sometimes I look and think, oh great, this is a beauty like the train journey that we did, and there's some great markets and there's some other areas that I want to share with you. Eventually we'll run out of the Indian stuff and we will start putting up some new stuff. I think we could probably talk about what we were going to do later in the year as well.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
After Turkey, we'd planned to do, some of you may have heard of it, the Camino de Santiago, which is a walk in between France and Spain. Well, it goes all the way across the top of northern Spain near to the Portugal coast, and it's a long walk. It's I don't know how many kilometres, but it's
800 kilometres.
800 kilometres. So it's 35 days walking apparently, and I've wanted to do this for years. Michelle.
No, as soon as we started talking.
Michelle's always wanted to do it, but it was one of my sort of like bucket list things that I wanted to do. So we've planned to do this for a long time. We're going to walk the Camino de Santiago after Turkey. There might be another little stop between Turkey and the Camino, but and there was little chance that wasn't going to happen, even with the virus going around. But we are noticing now that a lot of the facilities that run around the Camino have actually shut down, and a lot of people.
Spain's in lockdown now. It is actually.
The borders are locked down, so. In about a month and a half, 2 months maximum, 2 months, we plan to walk the Camino de Santiago. That is still our plan. We still want to do it, passionately want to do it. So, and I don't want to say, I'm going to say what we plan. If it doesn't come about, so be it.
Yeah.
We wanted to daily vlog the Camino, so show you every single day how the walks were and get it
whilst we were actually doing it.
Yeah, actually up to date. So you'd be watching it and know within maybe 2 or 3 days of where we were. So the Camino still is something we desperately would love to do. We were going to do it in the autumn anyway. Originally, when we set off from Australia, it was going to be an autumn thing. But because we're getting closer to Europe now, we just feel like it's autumn is a long way off.
Our plans changed all of the
Yeah,
time,
they
and it
change.
just, it just seemed to fit in nicely with where we were until the corona came along.
Yeah, and now we're sort of we're still planning for walking the Camino. What's the French name for the Camino?
Something
Saint-Jacques?
Chemin.
Chemin du Saint-Jacques. Yeah. Anyway, there's different names. You can look it up. It's a beautiful walk. It'll do us the world of good after this long sort of period of travelling with too much eating. We really need some exercise, something that will really challenge us. And I think you will really love seeing it. I really think you'll love seeing it. It might even inspire some of you to get out and do something like that. So that still coming up. We are going to, over this next month, we're going to be filming in Turkey. Maybe not quite so aggressively as we did in India. So
we've got time to plan a little bit more and
Yeah.
sort of choose what we're going to film. Whereas India, we sort of arrive and it's, oh wow, look at that. We're only going to be here a day or so. Let's film. So
yeah, I'm going to be getting a little bit of dentistry work done here. I'll tell you about that as well. We'll do a video about that. Why have I chosen to have it done in Turkey? We're clearly going to be sharing stuff about the simits and the different food, and we're learning ourselves every day. We haven't been here that long, but we're learning every day about Turkish culture and food. It's going to be a lot of fun.
be good.
Okay, so with that done, that's our update. It'd probably take me about 4 days to upload it onto YouTube, but no, I think I'm going to edit this because it's a continuous one. I'll edit this really quickly and get it up in the next 24, 48 hours for you to see. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you enjoyed the India trip? Are you looking forward to Turkey? Are you looking forward to just going on this crazy walk? It's a 35-day walk, but Michelle and I want to take it a little easier. I don't mean walk any less than most people would, but
we just might occasionally stop for a day
stop
or two.
for 2 or 3 days and do a bit of exploring.
Yeah.
So it's probably going to take us 2 months to do the walk.
6 to 8 weeks, we reckon.
Yeah, and it'll be a lot of fun. What we're doing after the Camino at the moment, we haven't planned.
No.
That's not on. That's a little bit too far. We've got some rough
Got
ideas.
some ideas, but who knows?
Okay, so from the beautiful city of Istanbul
In the spring.
in the springtime, the weather a couple of days ago was gorgeous. It just went cold.
Yeah.
We've gone into a cold snap. So, from the beautiful city of Istanbul, from Michelle and I, love you all. Take care, and we will see you in another video very shortly. Be good.